I'm good to go.
I think we're going.
An elegant weapon, but a more civilized age.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an Elegant Weapon episode 388. Good Lord. My name is J.M. Clark, J the Jedi Ross Jedi J. And as always, it is so wonderful to have all you beautiful babies here with us in the High Walker studio. It's nice to finally have a name on that shit, isn't it? Whoops. You know how it is with kids. And my kid right here is sitting in. The Padawan is sitting in tonight. Hello, Padawan.
Hi.
Hi. We got the iPad ready. We've got the Procreate. We've got some interesting news to share about the Padawan's work tonight. So that will be very exciting. And we're just going to talk some fun stuff tonight. No particular directed interview tonight. Hanging out with us all the way from Colorado, Mr. El Hawkes himself, Mr. Josh Hawks. Hello, Josh.
I am here. What's up, everybody?
Also joining us. And look, the kids wanted to jump in there with a little applause for you. Also joining us all the way from right down the street, beautiful Toronto. You're in Toronto right now, yes?
I am in Toronto currently.
He is in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. SamNoir. Good times
Hello.
indeed. Good times indeed. For joining us all the way from right down the street. Whoop. There we go. Welcome back, kids, guys. It's fun to have you hanging out here with us tonight. Thought we'd catch up on a few things. Last time we did this kind of chat, it was all about Wonder Woman, which, that chatter kind of died down pretty quickly. Not a lot of reverberation came out of the Wonder Woman, did it?
Yeah.
No, I didn't even.
Have you seen it even, Josh? Have you even seen it?
No,
yet?
I'm not really a DC guy, so like, my interest is not really. It's not. I'm in no hurry to see it.
Weird stuff that happens on the Facebook here. I'm just gonna write something down quick, kids.
No worries.
They make you write something before you actually share the post. All this
I was looking for the post and I didn't see it.
Weird, wacky stuff happening. Anyways, I'm trying something a little bit different tonight, kids. We're actually going from my own personal Facebook page, J.M. Clark, on the Facebooks, rather than from an Elegant Weapon, because I just thought I'd switch it up and see how things work, because these algorithms can be kind of funny, how they work. I hope you tuned in earlier to get the point tonight over on Source Point Press and chatted with Chris Tadlock and Howard Wong and Josh Stafford. Just had them on the show last week, and they are brand new Canadian content to Source Point Press. They got a brand new book, Damned Cursed Children, coming out very, very soon. It's in previews, issues 1, 2, and 3, and it's very cool to have Source Point North expanding its horizons, especially with such talented individuals as Josh and Howard. I can't wait to read it after talking to those guys. It sounds like a super fun book. Are you excited about this book, Sam?
Oh, yeah. Howard's a good guy. So I don't know if I've met Josh, but I've known Howard for a number of years now. So always looking forward to see what he's got cooking.
I gotta get him back on the show. Josh, he owns like a 1930s movie theater in Ottawa.
Okay.
And yeah, and it sounds
Which
awesome.
theater?
Oh, Mayfair, the Mayfair Theater.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
I have enjoyed a lot of cinema at Mayfair.
Oh, you've actually been there.
Oh yeah, it's a rep theater. So being a cinephile. Although to be honest, I think the last movie I saw there was Kung Pao Enter the Fist, and my friend Louise has never let me live that one down. But normally, yeah, there's wonderful stuff. I think I saw Wim Wenders film festival there a lifetime ago.
There's some kind of record that they have, some kind of world record for showing The Room. The movie The Room consecutively for like once a week or a month or something like that for like 87 months or so, just some kind of ridiculous record. It might even be in the hundreds. And the only reason they had to stop was because of the lockdown. But before that, they had literally held like the Guinness World Record or something for continuously screening The Room. You know, I've still never even seen The Room.
Really?
Yeah, I know what it's
You have to see it with a crowd. So we'll wait until this pandemic is over and we shall go see The Room in an audience, and maybe even a double feature with the Seth Rogen and what's his name?
Right, the actual movie they made about the movie.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I remember back in the days, man, going to the theaters here in Toronto when they would show Rocky Horror, and what an audience participation
the Bloor Cinema, the old Bloor
experience that would
Cinema.
be. Yeah, they'd show it all the time, right?
Unfortunately, at some point, they stopped letting us bring the toast and the rice.
Right?
In,
I don't know what that was all about. There was so much cool theater experiences back in the 90s when we were young and got to check out. I'm sure you went to Reg Hart's, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Josh, there's this guy, Reg Hart, who he had like a
room in
his house that was a theater, as I make quotation marks.
The Cineforum. I think it's
Right.
still around.
Really?
He must be a 1,000 years old now.
He
felt
must
old
be.
when, but I still see prior to the pandemic, I did see the posters, you know, the usual.
Oh, the classic black and white posters that would be plastered all over Toronto. And this guy would either be showing, Sex and Violence Cartoon Festival or Nazi propaganda films.
Metropolis.
I went there to see a Nazi thing, like this, like propaganda
the
retrospective.
Probably.
And it was literally like, it was in his living room, and he had like steel fold-up chairs and a screen, like a pull-up screen. And I was like, this is that legendary place that I've been dying to go for years, that I've seen posters all over Toronto for.
You do have to sit through his chats. He does like to hear himself talk about movies.
Oh, it's hilarious. Yeah, those were good times back in the day. Let's talk about some news, because Josh, there's some news, speaking of theaters, that you must be very, very excited about. It has been announced that Disney Plus will be obtaining and showing unto us the entirety of the Muppet Show.
Yes, I had a slight geek out moment yesterday morning, about seven in the morning, with my coworker people, and they were like, "What are you so excited about?" Well, Muppets are coming to Disney Plus, and they all looked at me and they were like, "And?" Like, you don't understand.
The classic.
They're all
people, man.
They're all in their early 20s, and they're some of them just weren't raised right.
See, I plan to make this kid watch it, and he may not enjoy it, but he's gonna understand it and appreciate it. Especially at least a couple of the episodes were very important. You know what I mean? And so well done. It was such a mastery of the art on that show. And it's weird because this is the first time we're going to see the last 2 seasons since it aired.
Wow.
Oh, there's 5 seasons of the Muppet Show, and only 3 have ever been available for home entertainment.
Really? So all those reruns we watched all through the year. So likely things that we haven't seen since we were smaller.
Was it just not aired in America, or was it just not aired at all?
It's never been available. It's been aired, but it's never been available for home consumption. You've never been able to buy it on VHS or beta or anything. Ever since the Muppet Show ever became available on videotape or CD or streaming or whatever.
But we did see it in reruns then, obviously.
I think so. I don't want to say that for sure. I don't know, because that didn't come up in the information that I had been listening to. But I know for sure it's never been available for home consumption as far as buying seasons 4 and 5. You can only buy seasons 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, it makes sense, because we do have seasons 1, 2, and 3 in their beautiful colored boxes at home. So we only had 3 seasons.
I'm thrilled to find out.
Had 4 and 5 came out, we definitely would have picked those up.
I I like the new stuff that they're doing though too. The new show is
well, the YouTube channel, they've been posting some fun content on the YouTube channel. I think they just did a sort of do of what's the road trip one, moving down the road or whatever.
Ease on down the road.
Yeah. They just a couple of weeks ago posted a sort of a redo of that in the socially distant times with the face masks and all that. Fozzie and Kermit. It's kind of weird because it's sort of the new Fozzie and Kermit voices, so it doesn't quite match up with the version in your head.
Yeah, especially the Kermit. It's going to take some getting used to with the Kermit thing, I think.
And Kermit did do a Kermit in the swamp with the banjo doing Rainbow Connection as well.
That's sweet enough. But I think the new show, what's it called? Is it just called The Muppets? It's
Muppets Now or something?
Yeah, Muppets Now, I think. And it's in the same vein where they've kind of let them go loose, and it's a sketch show again. It may not be live in a theater.
So that's not the one that was like The Office where
that was Muppets Tonight, I think.
Okay.
No, wait.
No, Muppets Tonight was the one.
Muppets Tonight was the old talk show one.
Yeah, I really like Muppets Tonight.
And then they did that weird office-y one, which was, I can't remember what it was called.
I think it was just the Muppets.
Yeah, I think it was just the Muppets.
I'll look it up while you guys.
Yeah, look it up. But then now they've got a new one, Sam, that is kind of an SCTV type idea. Oh. So it's back to the old school, like kind of formula of the Muppet Show, where Kermit's in charge and Scooter's, the stage manager, and everybody's in place. But rather than at a theater, it's a TV channel. It's like an SNL sketch show.
Gotcha. So and this is on Disney Plus?
Yeah. And
it's Muppets Now.
Yeah.
Muppets Now.
Yeah. And it's great. It's way better than I even thought it would. I thought it'd be all right. It's the Muppets, but it really lets loose. It's got that familiar old feeling from the Muppet Show of experimental improv. Do you know what I mean? To a certain extent. Not that the Muppets are improv, but you got to be able to fill in those voids and those gaps, and this show does it wonderfully. And it features Pepe and Rizzo, which is all I need, because Pepe is my all-time favorite Muppet. I could just take a Pepe show. Pepe and Rizzo would be like the greatest sitcom in the history of sitcoms. I think it'd be great.
I love Kermit.
We all do. Kermit's the best.
Kermit is pretty awesome.
Buddy, when we talk about the Muppets, what are you most familiar with? Like what movie or show or anything? Like what are you most familiar with Kermit from?
The first movie.
The first movie where what's his buddy's name, or Jason Segel's brother?
Oh, I see. So
Marvin or something.
Movie.
Well,
movie.
I'm most familiar of him from like the one where it was like an evil Kermit, wasn't?
Oh, the sequel.
Most Wanted.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that one. I didn't think it was horrible, but it definitely didn't have the heart of the Jason Segel one. That one.
You think they would have, done whatever it took to get Jason Segel back? He was so enthusiastic about it.
I don't know. Maybe he just wasn't interested in keeping going on down that road. I don't know.
What's that movie that was partly based on his own life, where he staged a Muppet Dracula?
That was where he's on vacation and his girlfriend's
saving or Sarah.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Right. Yes, the Dracula.
That's hilarious. You know the story behind that, right? In terms of, I think it was after Freaks and Geeks, where he just wasn't doing a heck of a lot and just sort of on his own, trying to do this Dracula Muppet thing, and he showed Judge Apatow, and I think Apatow told him, never show this to anyone. And they eventually turned it into a movie.
Screw that. That's awesome. You should show it to everybody. That's fantastic. I'm very excited about that. Catching up on when I went to the Jim Henson experience in New York. The one time I went was there was a podcast, and forgive me, I can't remember what they were called, but it's like a best of podcast, and they basically did this live thing on stage where they showed clips from like 5 or 6 different Muppet shows, and they counted down to what they believe to be the best Muppet Show episode of all time. And then we got to sit in this theater and watch that episode. And it was Harry Belafonte.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was a fantastic episode. So we actually got to sit in this theater and watch the whole thing on this big screen. And I was tearing up at moments. And I was with the Irish. The Irish were there. And Erin had never seen the Muppet Show.
Oh, wow.
And I looked over at her face, and her green eyebrows were just popping off her face, up off the top of her head, because she just couldn't believe it, like how awesome this was. And I was like, yes, this was the Muppet Show. So much brilliance. And it was cool to see it still affect somebody like that who'd never seen it before, even a grown-up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Well, between the old school vaudeville in puppet form and just backstage antics, it was just such a classic structure.
And man, the guest stars were great. I mean, that's how I got in Philly when I was lucky enough to host the Alice Cooper panel. And I needed an in, and I went with the Muppets. So the very first thing I asked them about was the fact that I got to know him as a child. I discovered him through his appearance on the Muppets and got him to talk a little bit about that. And the first thing he said was that was the most fun he's ever had in his career. I was like, really? He's like, oh yeah, being on the Muppet Show was ridiculous amounts of fun. And that was so cool to hear, right? Like, that's obviously a really not fresh, but like important memory to him, you know, and all the madness I'm sure he's lived through over the past few decades, that once his mind goes to the Muppet Show, it's a happy memory. You know what I mean?
There's a fantastic documentary series on YouTube. I think it's on the Defunct Land channel, which usually sort of explores, Disney rides and things like that. But phenomenal, just sort of tracing how the Muppet Show got to air and how close it was to not getting on the air. The first incarnation of it, I think they talked about how a lot of the sort of set pieces that would become a hallmark of it weren't quite there. So it was a shock when it did finally sort of all come together and lasted like 5 seasons.
That'd be awesome to watch. Which one was this?
Yeah.
Because they seem to have a few of those documentaries. Because I was watching the Imagineers was one, and there was another one that was just about, one of the episodes was just about Disney World. So they seem to have a lot of cool docs going on.
Yeah, this was Defunct Land. I'll see if I can find it. I'll send you the link to it.
Cool. That sounds awesome. Defunct Land. We'll have to
I saw one they did on the Haunted Mansion.
Oh yeah, I
like
just
20,
saw
like 20 minutes, 30 minutes long, something like that. And it's deep.
Oh
There's
yeah.
things in there that like you didn't even see or even notice that were there, that they're like, we'll spend 5 minutes on.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now, was this the one that also went back to the earlier concepts? Like there was, because I also recently saw Haunted Mansion one. I've seen quite a few, but the one I saw like yesterday, I'm trying to remember the pirate's name, but it was loosely based on Bluebeard's castle as the early concept for Disney Park. That was sort of one of the early days. And I can't remember which channel it's on. I watch all of these channels, but
it's been a while since I'd seen it, but I do remember enjoying just the deep dive on the ride itself and some of the technology. Yeah,
yeah. See, I've never been to a Disney
second
park.
Favorite thing at Disneyland.
And
is
also
that cool? Like, it's so legendary. Is it really that cool?
I think so.
It's got a lot of charm. Like for me, it's childhood come back, but also they every season they sort of wrap it. So around sort of Halloween, Christmas, it becomes sort of the Jack Skellington thing. So they mix it up every now and then.
Right.
But,
the closest thing we have to that here is the Scooby-Doo's Ghoster Coaster, right?
Mm-hmm. But if you did go like, sort of in the summer or in the spring rather than around Halloween or Christmas, you would get sort of the classic Haunted Mansion, and then the special sort of Jack Skellington version around the holidays.
We have Canada's Wonderland here, Josh, which is a old.
What is Canada's Wonderland?
It's just an amusement park, but it's an awesome amusement park, and it's out.
He froze.
Oh, well,
we're all frozen. No, I'm still going.
Canada's Wonderland is sort
Oh, I
of
can still hear Sam.
fun. It's a fun park basically. When we were kids, it was Hanna-Barbera Land.
Right. So this it's kind of like an hour north of Toronto, and you go up there, and it's an awesome amusement park. And this Hanna-Barbera Land, yeah, for some reason when they opened back in the late 70s, early 80s, that was the IP that they hooked up with was Hanna-Barbera.
I mean, that makes sense. Hanna-Barbera was pretty big at that
the
time.
Yeah, at the time
Yeah.
it was huge. And there was a little section called Smurf Village, and it was all like a Smurf area with this little climb through thing, and everybody loved it. And then over the years, Hanna-Barbera just, I don't want to say became lame, but you just kind of, it kind of felt dated as the park went on.
And Yogi's
the Bedrock
wasn't quite.
Yeah. So what then Paramount for a few years actually bought the park and movieized it. So they took all the rides and repainted them and gave them movie
Star
names.
Trek. There was a Star
and they
Trek
built
experience.
and then that year they built the Top Gun ride, which is a big crazy hanging roller coaster. And
Tomb Raider.
And then they sold it. And so now it's not Paramount. So it's gone back to a lot of the old names, and it's gone back to a lot of new names for those rides. But the coolest thing is, Sam, I don't know if you went at all last year, but they've repainted and rebranded the entire park retro style.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
that'd be great.
So when all the Paramount signs and all that crap, remember they had the cars and the movie posters, that's all gone. But now like all the street signs and directional signs and everything are all old school wood painted with like the 80s bubble letters. And it's kind of cool how they didn't just keep trying to modernize it. They actually went a little backwards, and it feels kind of like it did back in the day, because it's not Hanna-Barbera anymore, it's Peanuts. It's like really,
that's right.
That's going to be your new exciting IP. Is like, I love Peanuts as much as the next guy, but come on, Peanuts.
Wasn't it SpongeBob for a while as well? I feel like when my niece and nephew were kids,
really?
I think we went on the SpongeBob ride when my niece and nephew were small.
Do you remember Kingswood Music Theater that used to be there?
Oh yeah. Check it out. The Ramones and Blondie as a double bill.
Wow.
At the Kingswood in my
nice.
teens. It was amazing. They sung Pet Cemetery.
Wow.
That was the summer of Pet Cemetery.
That's fantastic. I saw Depeche Mode there.
Oh, that would have been a good show.
Oh, Depeche Mode live is this experience where you become part of an amoeba.
Four guys behind their keyboards.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was super.
I saw the CNE Grandstand. I saw them at the CNE Grandstand. I think Jesus and Mary Chain opened for them.
Oh wow, to see them open! I saw Jesus and Mary Chain at the Warehouse, and Mazzy Star opened for them.
Oh, that would have been a good one.
Yeah, and then Hope comes out at the end, and they do their song together and stuff. It was so cool.
Oh, nice.
Not to get political, I don't like to do it too much on this show, but Josh, I have to say congratulations to the breath of fresh air that your country is sort of seeming to be feeling right now.
Yeah, hopefully it's going to be a good one. Everybody yesterday, today seemed to have a gigantic sigh of relief. There was a lot of people counting down the hours until noon. I was actually kind of surprised. Protect some kayfabe here. With the company I work with and their viewpoints on things, I'm quite surprised we didn't actually take time out to watch the inauguration.
Well, history was made yesterday, that's for sure. I did feel like I was watching history.
I was a little worried that, the tensions would seem high, but they do kind of seem to have simmered a little bit. So that's a great thing to see, because we can all concentrate on all the fun stuff. All right, that's enough talking about that. Congratulations,
Bernie Sanders
America.
Memes.
Oh my God, that meme is taking over the planet. Holy crap.
It's quite clear that was not the most important thing he had planned for the day.
No.
And he had no want to be there. That was clear on his face.
I just think he only owns one coat, man.
Oh, those mittens! Come on, those mittens are what
mittens
made that ensemble.
They were made out of they're homemade by some girl on Etsy or something, and they are like made from all recycled materials and all that kind of good Bernie stuff. So,
I feel like Howard Wong, just to give him a shout out again, won the internet this afternoon. I think he either he did it himself, I believe, or he found it. But for me, him photoshopping Bernie next to Sharon Stone with her legs crossed, I think that won the meme contest for me.
I saw a lot of good ones, man. A lot of really good ones. And there was even like ones within Source Point. Like there was one
I
of
did see
him
the
behind the
Source
Source
Point one. That was
Point
great.
booth at a show.
That was awesome. That was great.
Oh, that was good times. Yeah, totally.
There was a Weekend at Bernie's one that I quite loved.
Oh, so
I
good.
hadn't seen that one. I would have.
They're countless.
I've
I've seen dozens and dozens and dozens of them. Padawan, would you like to give a little review of something? Every Sunday, the Padawan has been coming over here to experience the brand new episode of Attack on Titan.
Ah.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with Attack on Titan.
I am. I'm a little behind, particularly the manga. I'm more into the manga, but I'd love to hear his thoughts on the anime.
Now, where are we with the anime, buddy? Like, what season is this you're watching right now?
Season 4.
Season 4. That doesn't seem like many. It seems like Attack on Titan's been around a little longer than that, but maybe not.
There's a bunch of manga though.
Oh, there's a bunch of manga. Manga's
There's
been out for a while.
I think they're coming up on 20 volumes and then dozens of spin-offs as well.
Geez. So how do you enjoy the cartoon? Now, I know last Sunday's episode, yes, Sunday, it was a big deal, was it not? What went down that was a big deal?
So Aaron fought the Warhammer Titan. It was the first time the Warhammer Titan appeared in animation.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So in the 4 seasons of the show, this is the first time you saw this particular Titan.
Yeah.
Now, who is Aaron? Aaron is our hero?
Well, he's more of a bad guy now, but yeah.
But Aaron also has a Titan's form. What's fascinating is there's a bunch of, I guess, rangers in Lord of the Rings terms who are tasked with sort of retaking the outside world in this post-apocalyptic setting, which has been overrun by giants called Titans. And should we give away the twist? I'm sure you've probably given away the twist in past reviews. It turns out that some of these rangers, quite a number of them, are actually Titans themselves.
Yeah, there's 9 to be exact.
There's 9, and they're like kind of hiding in human form, sort of?
Only the Marleyans when they invaded Paradise.
Okay, see, now...
But Aaron, the hero, has a Titan form himself, right?
Does Aaron have a Titan form?
Yeah, he has 3 now.
He has 3 now.
3, okay.
He has the Attack Titan, Warhammer Titan, and Founding Titan.
Founding Titan.
Yeah, that's the most powerful Titan. Currently, he's kind of destroying the world in the manga.
So this is all news to me because I'm a little behind on. I think I'm on volume like 12 or 13 of the manga, and I haven't read it in years. But I will eventually sort of catch up and read all.
The cartoon, does it follow the manga?
It does.
It does. Okay.
Yet the live action doesn't. So we don't like the live action as much, right, kiddo?
Yeah,
Have you seen the live action?
There's a live action Attack on Titan?
Yeah, there are 2 movies, and again, we as Attack on Titans fans, we don't like it as much, right, dude?
No, it's the same thing with Death Note, right?
Oh, the Death Note one sucked.
Well,
the American Death Note one sucks, yeah.
Yeah, because they totally switch him up. Although it's what's his name as Ryuk? It's Willem Dafoe.
He's well cast, yes, but it's not as good as the Japanese adaptation.
Right, go ahead.
Ryuk was the only good character in the movie.
There's no Japanese movie. There's only one live action Death Note movie, right?
No,
there's a Japanese live action.
I didn't know that.
There's also a Japanese TV show.
What?
Yeah.
Have you watched all of these? Or do you just not bother because they're so off from the book?
Well, I don't see. It's on Crunchyroll.
You watch everything on Crunchyroll.
Check. death.
That's cool, though. I mean, I feel like the way my parents must have felt when I was trying to explain them, like, Motu when I was a kid. When I try to be like, okay, so there's Skeletor and there's Snake Mountain and then the power of Grayskull, they'd be like, what? Because he starts telling me about these animes and I feel old. I feel like, oh, this is exactly how we must have made our parents feel back
You know what?
in the day.
It's not a bad series to watch with Dex. I would recommend it.
We finished Airbender, right? The last Avatar.
Did you know that's technically not an anime?
I know it's technically not an anime, but either way, we
It's
watched
it's
it
an American show in the anime style. Shall we say.
right. Now, we enjoyed it greatly. I finally understand why everybody is so obsessed with that show, because it's a
Have you watched
fantastic
Legend
show.
of Korra?
Now, we started Legend of Korra and got a bunch of episodes in, but we have tailed off because it was not nearly as good, in our opinions. It was moving slowly. It doesn't get anywhere very quickly. The lead character, Korra, is not nearly as likable as Aang as far as being an avatar. And a lot of it just didn't make sense to us. So we've kind of trailed off. I don't know if we're going to finish it, but maybe. But I want to finish it just because I love the world. I love the Avatar world and all of that. So I kind of want to know what's going on. Have you seen Legend of Korra?
I have not. I think I've made it. I don't want to say mostly through Avatar, but I sort of trailed off. Again, it's been on my list to pick up again. But there's so many
finish
episodes.
Avatar at least. It's brilliant. Have you seen it, Josh?
Avatar?
Yeah.
I've seen, I believe, the first season and maybe a little bit of the second one.
All right. And I see why the fans were.
That was a long time ago.
I see why the fans weren't huge fans of that movie either. Because I used to think the movie is pretty cool, and then I watched the cartoon and I was like, oh, I get why the movie's not cool, because there's elements from the cartoon that they left out that just make no sense because they were such awesome, important. The character changes. His uncle in the cartoon, who's a very important, likable character, is completely flipped on his head into an entire different personality in the movie that just makes absolutely no sense to me.
Dad,
Yes.
did you know? I'm pretty sure Toph isn't even in the live action.
That's right. Toph isn't even in the. Well, that's the thing. We didn't get to that point yet, right? Because the movie was basically season 1 of the show, and I think Shyamalan was going to make more than that, but he didn't get.
Was there a twist ending? Did he add a twist ending?
There's a bit of a there's not a twist ending, but there's a little bit, unless you count spoilers, unless you count kind of Zuko flipping sides. But there's definitely a teaser that would lead right into the sequel that would have been season 2, as like an end credit scene kind of thing. And so that would have been awesome.
Shyamalan film that doesn't have a twist ending.
Right. Well, he didn't get to come up with that thing. And now they're talking about new Avatar episodes for Netflix.
Oh, wow.
Not just new episodes, but also a new series. So that's kind of very, very exciting. That's news from Netflix, because Netflix is just like, screw it, we're doing everything. Especially right now, it's weird. They do all this cool stuff, and their number one thing right now is what is it? What's that big thing everybody's watching? Lupin, the French detective show, with the black guy.
Is that based on Lupin, the Arsène Lupin, the gentleman thief?
Yes, yeah, that's what that show is.
Also adapted in Japan as Lupin III, or Castle of Cagliostro.
He's a French version, basically, of kind of like Sherlock Holmes type deal. And this show just overtook Queen's Gambit with like 70 or 80 million people viewing it. So, Netflix puts out the simple stuff and it becomes huge, and that pays for all the cool stuff, like Masters of the Universe also being rebooted by Kevin Smith. And co is going to be coming back soon, and I'm stoked for that.
So just as chess has become such a hot item, is gentleman thiefing going to be the next big thing because of Lupin?
Nice. That'd be hilarious. I don't know if going from my homepage was a good idea because not one single person has been watching tonight. So I don't know how these algorithms work.
I think it's private.
What do you mean? Why do you think it's private?
There's a
that would-
lock right next to where the minutes are.
We've been
That's
talking
it's
amongst
only
yourselves.
you.
Oh my gosh, it's only been us. No one's even watching us because for some reason it says only me. You know what? That was probably an old school I bet you I put that on because I was testing it one time.
Can you unlock it right now as we?
I'm not even going to bother. I'm just going
All
to
right.
post it later because it's going to
No
save through
worries.
Zoom as a video anyways.
Gotcha.
So then I'll just post it later for people to
So,
enjoy. But that's
Dex.
hilarious. I got to remember to put it back to public. I was like, not one single person is watching? That doesn't seem right at all. Normally there would have been somebody who jumped in with some sort of comment.
By the way, that's
So-
Aaron.
Oh, that's Aaron. Oh,
I have
okay.
me and Aaron are buddies. I've got to interview Aaron a couple times now. It's
Oh, really?
Bruce Pappenbrook.
Okay. That's
Pappenbrook
cool.
is the voice actor. I've
Uh,
actually spoken to quite a few of the guys from Attack on Titan.
The Japanese or
Really?
English dub. Like
The
which-
English dub.
Yeah, it'd be the English stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've spoken to Aaron. Stand by. Aaron, Levi, and there's one other.
You know,
It's
Levi?
way down the list down here. Marlo Frudenberg.
Is that the actor or the
No,
character?
that's the
Okay.
character. Marlo Frudenberg.
You know that character?
Todd Habercorn.
Marlo.
Oh.
Is it
No.
Marco?
It says Marlo.
I got him a cameo for his birthday from is it David Caradan? Oh, I can never remember. The voice of Todoroki, Shoto Todoroki from My Hero Academia. And he sent him a very cool little video. And it's awesome they can do that. It's pretty affordable. It's like, obviously it's different prices for different people. The more popular they are, the more expensive. But this was like $50. Drop $50 and this guy makes up this awesome video, and it's a very cool present for people to have,
That's Aaron's Titan.
Oh, that's a cool looking Titan.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, so why don't we do your thing before we jump into what we're mainly going to review while we're having
WandaVision?
fun here tonight. We're going to get into WandaVision exactly in a minute, but Declan here, being crazy anime freak art rat that he is, and you guys have seen all his progression in his artwork throughout this pandemic as he has just improved vastly, has now decided to just make his own damn manga book and create his own characters, and I'm very, very proud of him for this. So, but Sam, I just want you to see
Fantastic.
here, I just want to
I just finished the new
lay out here.
I cannot wait to read this.
I'm so impressed right now. But anyways, see these?
Oh, wow.
This is his Procreate here, and he's got these are all the pages. So he's got each page digitally done. And I know it's hard to see with the lighting right there, but somehow I'm going to help him put all the pages together. And yeah, he's paneled them all out in a very creative Sean Daly-esque way. What's a good one we can show?
That's
This
the
one
new-
here?
That's the newest one.
Is this the newest page here?
Yeah.
How do we get it to go sideways?
You can just.
It's not rotating.
It doesn't.
Anyways, there. It's hard to see with the light, but
Oh,
anyways, maybe we can
fantastic.
share this once we get it all together. But
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
it's amazing what these things can let kids do nowadays, right? Like if we had
Mhm.
wanted to do our own comic, it would have been a lot more difficult to figure out than just jumping on your iPad and being able to make digital page after page after page,
It's
right?
just a
Well,
Attack
well,
on
I don't know
Titan.
about you. I just took 8.5 by 11s, folded them in half, and then had a little booklet. That's how I made
Nice.
mine.
Yeah.
And then
Sean
we
Daly
took it to
styles.
the photocopier at the library and made copies and handed it to our friends.
Staple that shit up. WandaVision. My thoughts on WandaVision. I liked it. I think they gave too much away. in commercials and stuff, especially in the second round of trailers where they really gave it away that she's kind of in her own universe, however she's there. You know, it's kind of good that this isn't going out live because I haven't once said spoilers, and that's all we're talking about all night. So now this will give me a chance.
Well, I
to put a
haven't seen
giant
it, so whatever.
Spoiler warning on it.
You know me, Jay. I mean, we could talk about it. I'm gonna forget it because you know me.
I never worried too much about that.
Yeah, this is no big deal here.
They're characters that I am not hugely invested in either. So I love the sitcom thing. I love the recreation of the old TV shows. That's just super cool and amazingly well done. But other than that, they are characters that I am not overly concerned with, and I am not overly invested in. I've never been a huge fan of the MCU's portrayal of Scarlet Witch. So, you know, it's fun, but I'm not dying to see it weekly. I'm obviously going to watch it, but I'm not dying to see it week after week, unless it gets better, because it's been kind of slow. I feel like we've kind of watched two of the same episodes, going from the 50s to the 60s. You know, maybe the black and white. Maybe they could have just got away with doing that for one episode. You know, because what's this going to be? 8 episodes or something?
Yeah, something.
So they're gonna have
6
to,
or 8.
they're gonna have to
9?
start moving along quickly. Sam, what'd you think?
You know what? I'm the target for this. I am the TV aficionado who loves this recreation of the sitcom. I love all the homages. I catch all the references. So for me, it very distinctly, having watched a lot of both Dick Van Dyke, I Love Lucy era stuff, and sort of Bewitched era stuff, I could actually tell the difference between the two, and the tropes, and all the gags, the type of gags that they were.
I could
playing
tell, but it just, I don't know. It felt
I found it delightful. That's and I am invested in their romance. To me, that
Are you really? Do you feel
am.
it between them? Because I don't feel much of a connection between them.
I feel the charm. I feel the charm of these old shows, and I've been rooting for them all along. I think the main issue is we didn't have a lot of time to see them as an actual couple. I think they had a total of a few minutes of screen time before
20 minutes.
Before the Infinity War happened. We had before they got together, and then we had that whole couple of minutes. So I think that's the main thing. For me, I've been following these characters since I was a kid. I've been rooting for them since I was a kid. So to see them, I've come to life on the screen. I remember reading them in the Avengers when I was, I couldn't even read probably. I just sort of flipped through and didn't even know who these characters were. One of the very first miniseries for Marvel that I read was Vision and the Scarlet Witch, the 4-issue one, where
I never read
it was
much.
revealed. It was a huge mind bomb, that one, because it was revealed that Magneto was in fact her father. Before that hadn't been revealed. And then there was, a rather, to me, it wasn't that exciting, but there was a novelty of the 12-issue Vision and Scarlet Witch miniseries where they moved to the suburbs and settled down and had kids. But the mind bomb for me was West Coast Avengers, where John Byrne just turned this whole thing on its ear. So I'm waiting for that to drop.
Which they're taking influences from all of that too.
Absolutely.
There's elements of all of that they're throwing in there. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Vision series that this is also heavily based on, with fantastic Tom King's series with phenomenal Mike Del Mundo cover artwork, well-designed cover artwork.
Now, did she in the comics, when she originally, the House of M, did she create the world in the House of M comics because she lost vision as well, or was there another reason?
There was a lot of there were a lot of factors.
Right? Yeah, she was just having like a general mental breakdown in House of M, right?
It was Byrne who sort of depicted the initial breakdown in the pages of West Coast Avengers when he sort of took Vision and turned him into an emotionless thing. So she lost that, and then she lost her kids in a very creepy way via a character called Master Pandemonium, who has demons for arms. And
yeah,
I've never seen a more creepier image than this guy with their twin babies as arms. But yeah, John Byrne really, as when I was a kid reading this, it was a real sort of mind bomb for me to see that. And then Bendis, I guess, picked up on that, and Wanda's instability and all the things that she had gone through between, losing the kids and losing Vision, et cetera, et cetera. So she had another mental breakdown, blamed mutants for all her troubles, and caused the House of M.
Her kids. What are her kids' names again? Who do they end up being?
Tommy and
their names though. Their names are like
Tommy. Wiccan and Speed.
Wiccan and Speed. Right.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm curious about is how they're going to handle this, because she's now pregnant, as we know at the end of the episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to have the boys, which we know because we've seen all the trailers and everything. Now, if she's in this made-up world, it's going to be interesting to see the extent to what she is actually capable of doing. Because, do these kids get pulled out into the real world and actually become existing humans in order to do this Young Avengers thing that they're trying to do?
Well,
right?
We all know that's what they're shooting for. So yeah,
now,
and
in
then
which
traveling
case,
through the decades.
Does that mean that Vision could be permanently back in the end? In the end, could she bring him back and him, exist as the way she's impregnated herself within this universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting to see how that turns out in the end, because my favorite parts right now are getting to the end and seeing the glitches and seeing the bee guy get out of the sewer. And as it breaks down, I think it's going to be more interesting for me, right? Because I love that kind of crap.
Because these are just basically, for the most part, other than the glitches, these are the most loving homages to TV Land and Nick at Night.
Absolutely, I'm excited because I believe next episode will be Family Ties. No.
Oh, will it? Okay, gotcha. That's the 80s.
No, wait,
one,
no,
right?
they're going to go into the 70s.
No, the 70s. So it would be Brady Bunch. It probably Brady Bunch is what
Brady
what
Bunch-esque, yeah. And it's definitely Family Ties in the 80s, though. Like, you can't mistake that.
And there's the rumors that a version of Quicksilver is showing up, but not necessarily the version that we think is showing up.
Imagine they use Evan Peters and
that is the rumor.
Mix stuff up. I don't think there will. I think that
that is the huge rumor.
I don't know.
I hope the 90s version is Married with Children.
Oh, absolutely.
That would be sweet. That would be great. Sweet.
Yeah. And
Vision comes in, just puts his hand in his pants.
He flushes the toilet, gets a laugh. The modern version, I've heard they definitely are going into that sort of Modern Family approach. With the first person.
They're going to go all that way. Eh?
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how far they go with stuff. I mean, now that Luke Skywalker has showed up on The Mandalorian, all bets are off in any way for anything. Anybody can show up and do anything at any time now. Like, we cannot possibly, doubt anything. And I kind of liked the idea of the only Fox character crossing over to be Deadpool, and for him to continually know that he's the only one doing it, right? Like, they're going to have to somehow work that into it, because Ryan Reynolds is overseeing the script right now. So I kind of hope they just keep it to him. You know what I mean? It'd be weird. Why bring Evan Peters in? I don't know. That just seems
Evan
weird.
Peters makes sense if Spider-Man, basically. We're leading into Spider-Man. So I can see why they would have Evan Peters, because she's going to break reality, shall we say, open up the multiverse. Loki's over in his own series breaking time, and then it all comes spilling out into Spider-Man 3, where you've got Sam Raimi's Dr. Octopus and Amazing Spider-Man's Electro. I think is it hasn't been confirmed, has it, or has there been confirmation?
Yes and no. It's been cheekily, I think.
Mhm.
I just don't think we know to the extent yet that they're going to actually go through with things as far as will they just be cameos or what's going to happen.
I
with all
think
that.
what we'll see is current Spider-Man in some of the big shots from their two guys' movies. So like current Spider-Man stopping the subway, fighting Doc Ock.
Right,
okay.
right.
Current Spider-Man doing whatever Andrew Garfield did. Maybe he'll save Mary Jane. I don't know.
Mhm.
That could be interesting.
For me, my thought is this is their way of assembling the Sinister Six by using the different multiverse without having to, again, we see
This
a
is going to
Doc
be
Ock
their
movie.
way for a lot. This is going to be their way
Yeah.
for that. This is going to be Sony's way into making their own Spider-Verse. It's also going to be how we get mutants.
And here's
Now, are you
here's the
down
other
with the working theory that it's going to be the opposite of the comics and it's not going to be a no more mutants thing, but somehow Scarlet Witch on WandaVision is going to introduce the mutants?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that that's going to be a thing because how else are they going to bring them in? And the other thing
It's
I wanted to point out,
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sam Raimi is directing Doctor Strange, the
Right.
Multiverse of Madness. So we've got the baton being passed using his version of Doc Ock at the very least, and rumor has it, maybe Tobey Maguire and MJ. So the baton gets passed to Sam Raimi. What sort of crossover might there be in the Multiverse of Madness for him to get to play with his old Spider-Man toys?
Right. I think they need to find a good excuse to do it because Wolverine kind of screws things because you can't have a Wolverine come in who isn't super old, right? Like you can't change that about a character. Wolverine being super old and having lived such a long life and not knowing where he came from, that needs to be part of what they do, don't you think? Like you can't just be like Wolverine's like just a present aged like hero. Like I think they have to make it where, he's been a mutant forever. And if there's been no mutants, somehow there's going to have to be a really whacked out multi-dimensional time cross. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, there was rumor.
There
was rumor that the two snaps in Endgame and Infinity War, or I guess 3 snaps, whatever, with all the gamma radiation, that is what created the mutants, or what is going to create mutants.
That's the issue. There can't be the mutants just be created because then Wolverine would just be created now. Wolverine is a character that can't exist without his long past. So somehow they need to make it where a universe that's already always had the mutants gets melded in with the 616 or something. You see what I mean?
And
like it's gonna have to be where
multiverse.
like they did with Crisis on the show, where all the multi-Earths all disappeared and it all came into one universe and there was no more multiverse. You know what I mean?
And the great thing is they can pick and choose, right? Like at this point, they can just as easily, depending on what they liked about the old continuity, they can say, "Oh, we'll take this part, but we'll forget about everything else." That they can have their cake and eat it too. Now, how do you guys think with the news that Chris Evans has signed back? There's a lot been made about him being Captain America. Do you believe that there might be a cameo being set up for him as the Human Torch?
He's denied it.
He's out now. Well, but they all have to deny it. That's
right. But I don't
it's
see
like
why.
what's her Italiana?
I think he's walked away, man. I don't think if they've got him back, it's got to be for a very, very important linchpin type situation. It's got to be where they had to drop a dump load of money in front of his house to get him to do like 5 minutes or something. I do not, after that ending with Cap, I don't see him just
Yeah.
coming back and it being the character. Do you know what I mean?
So it's more than just if they do sort of do another Captain America movie. You think it'd be more than him just showing up again just to give his blessing yet again.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think he's done with that. I think he's moved on, Chris Evans. That's why I think if he's coming back, it's almost something where they just couldn't do without him. And they probably had to convince him to do it. You know what I mean? Like, because I can't see how it would work because he's been through so many multi-dimensional adventures already, right?
Well, here's another theory that's sort of been discussed with the multiverse of madness opening up. Essentially, the theory is that the next Avengers movies are going to be based on Jonathan Hickman's run, where the Illuminati are trying to stop the other dimensional incursions, which will lead to Secret Wars. The Hickman version of Secret Wars.
This is going to get complicated either way, I think. But actually, Feige's pretty good at simplifying it. But it's going to be interesting to see where this all goes because it has to lead to Secret Wars, right? Like you got nothing left after Secret Wars, and I think they're gonna. That's years away, though. I think that's another 10 years, honestly, before we get into a Secret Wars. I think it's going to be a serious mutant buildup from this point. I think the two things they're going to concentrate most on are a mutant buildup and the Young Avengers. And then Spider-Man will kind of start to be doing way more of its own thing. I think Spider-Man's going to have less and less to do with the main MCU. I think he'll always be a part of it, but I think he'll be less and less that so they can really concentrate on their Spider-Verse because Sony's probably at this point like, come on, let's get our thing going a little more. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, but either way, I think it'll be interesting. I saw a fan-made poster of the three Spider-Mans all kind of hugging each other in the rain. And I don't know if you've seen this, but it's a really
I've seen the one where they're pointing at each other like in
no,
the meme.
this is
like the meme, yeah.
No, this is like a movie poster type looking one where they're all kind of on the side and you can't see their faces. All you can, they're kind of, it's like faded out, but it's basically the three of them. It's like Andrew Garfield's a tall one, and then Tobey Maguire, and then just little Tom Holland is kind of there in the front. And it's actually a really sweet poster of three Spider-Man kind of just holding each other after it was obviously like a hard time, So I hope that's the kind of vibe we sort of get, because I could give a damn if I ever see Maguire again, but I would love to see Garfield put that suit on again. He's my favorite by far. He was the most Peter Parker of any of the Spider-Men to me. At least the Peter Parker I grew up with and I envisioned growing up during the McFarlane years and stuff, right? Even though he's a bit younger than that Peter Parker would have been. Either way, he's way more what I always envisioned as Peter Parker. Not that no diss on Tom Holland. I think Tom Holland's good too. But I don't know. There's just something about Garfield I really enjoyed,
Well, in terms of the romance part of Spider-Man as well, I think him and Gwen.
Emma Stone, yeah,
Emma Stone had
way
the
more
best
chemistry. Absolutely,
Yeah.
way
out
better
of
chemistry.
all the relationships.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. 100%.
And I would love to see her as Spider-Gwen. I think she'd be a great.
Oh yeah, I think she'd be fantastic. I can't wait to see how far they go with all of this stuff. It's good times. All right, kids. It's weird that there's no actual live audience. I've gotten used to recording this thing live, and I thought I was, but we weren't. But either way, if you do watch this live on Facebook, thank you, because I will again repost it there. But if you get confused and try to comment, no one responds, please understand we're not ignoring you. We just already did it, and it's done and over. But we'll do it again. Sam, Josh, thank you so much for hanging out, guys. That was an absolute blast of a review show. As always.
Sorry I didn't have more to contribute.
That's okay. I thought you contributed a fair enough amount. It's always, though, enjoyable to have Sam here and his encyclopedic knowledge of the world. Sam, you never come on this show without me learning something, so I always appreciate it. And I still don't know how you retain all that information,
Oh, I just forget things like, my family's birthdays and
that brain,
how
that's room in your brain has
bus
been
to take
exchanged
home.
and sacrificed for that.
Yeah, all the important things, my
Right.
social insurance number, couldn't tell you. But I will tell you like every single, obscure Spider-Man trivia. It's all trapped in there.
Those are the important things in life, Sam. All right, kids. There you go. That was a fun episode for this week. We do have some exciting stuff coming up. Some interviews. I've had a lot of fun mixing it up. So I hope you're all enjoying this, because once in a while we'll do one of these shows. Keeps it fresh and fun. And I've been throwing a lot of cool interviews in for a lot of exciting stuff coming out. 2 episodes ago, we had Josh Werner, who is the founder and art director of Source Point Press, on the show. Talking about lots of cool stuff, what it was like to get a company through this pandemic. So that is available on all the fine podcast mediums, as well as on YouTube. So go give that a watch, because Josh is a pretty guy. And last week's episode with Howard Wong and Josh Stafford, as I mentioned, is also available on YouTube and everywhere else. Go check it out. Damned Cursed Children, or as I have informed them, as I like to pronounce it, Damned Cursed Children, because I don't think we say cursed enough. But that's just my own silly little thing. And either way, you should check out that and many more comic books from Source Point Press, available in your LCS or at sourcepointpress.com. You can check Josh out at poipodcast.com, as he hosts the Points of Interest podcast. And SamNoir, he does a whole bunch of stuff. You are writing and drawing and cauldroning and doing what you do. So definitely check out the Cauldron magazine series. And what else is going on right now, Sam?
Within 2 weeks, hopefully, we'll be
Ballyskillin. Is Ballyskillin out?
Ballyskillin, literally yesterday, the lovely and talented Andrew Dorland dropped all the artwork into my lap. So
Awesome.
We're within 2-3 weeks of Ballyskillin headed to the printer. I'm so excited about that. We are also 2-3 weeks out from, we're going to call it Fandemic. So our old web comic, fan fiction, or Fandemonium, as it was known as at different times, is now going to be collected in one volume called Fandemic, and all new material. So we're going to be making fun of some Mandalorian, a little bit of the Disney takeover of Fox. Yeah, fun stuff. So
Looking forward
wonderful
to that.
cover of Godzilla. Puking up radioactive stuff filled with tiny little characters. I can't wait to show you the cover. I'll send you a preview, Jake.
That sounds
You
exciting. I look
just
forward to
you just got me on board. You said Godzilla, so I'm there.
That's all Josh needs.
I will send it to our group chat.
Cool. Very good. Like I said, poipodcast.com. Check out the Points of Interest podcast, and that's cool. So come back next week. We'll have something going on. I got a few guests. I've got one guest who's going to be coming up soon, kids. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I don't know if it's going to be next week or maybe the week after. He's needed a few weeks to deal with a few things, but Graham Miserak will be returning to An Elegant Weapon. News has leaked about a certain individual named Graham's book being put out by a certain publisher that if you're watching this show, you probably know that publisher. Huge news, and I can't wait to talk so much about it. Source Point Press North. That's all I have to say. It's getting bigger and bigger and more badass, and I just love it. But until then, kids, I got all these mics everywhere. Until then, kids, that's all we're going to have this week on An Elegant Weapon. So, take it easy.
An elegant weapon, but a more
And once again,
civilized age.
so you know, this is The Slackers. Ska Boheme off the Boss Harmony Sessions, available on iTunes, Spotify, so many places. Go to theslackers.com and experience the greatest band in the history of music. We'll see you next week, kids. All right? Okay. Take it easy.